Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Yours truly, Tony Basilio, at your service. It's pretty incredible to be alive and well with you today on this Thirsty Thursday. Because I'm pretty thirsty. I just rode my recumbent bike for like an hour, and I'm feeling pretty, I don't know, I got a headache. Oh, well. I think I have to get some liquids in me. But here we are. Fired up, focused, and prepared. Brian's pretty pumped. I'm pretty pumped. We're excited. Bride, you miss our basketball Vols this week. What's the verdict on that?
I could get used to this every week.
That's a sad thing. Today on the show, I'm going to ask you, over the next decade, do you expect the Vols to play for a national championship? Will Tennessee play for a natty in the next decade in football? Question mark. And then the second thing is, let's take a look at, in light of what Indiana's done, let's take a look at the Power 4 teams and say, who's competing for the natty, who isn't? How many teams can win it? Because really, that's the super conference you're in. And then the rest of the teams are just kind of going to be irritants and are going to pick a player away here or there. But for the most part, and then another thing, by the way, Byron wrote a great piece today in Byron's Corner, a.k.a. the Czar. He's referring to himself as the Czar now. Brian, what do you think of a guy that gives himself the nickname the Czar?
I don't think much of anyone who gives themselves their own nickname.
Byron, get it.
I don't think much of that action.
I mean, come on, Byron. Your first action didn't work. You almost felt like the Vols in the second half the other night against Kentucky in that game the other day. So there's been robust debate about this whole G League. So I was talking to a couple of people with NBA ties. They think that this Bediako thing at Alabama is pretty silly. Because if you think about it, what are the ramifications? If you're a Tennessee player or a college baseball player and you go off and you leave, but you still have another year of eligibility, can you come back when you realize professional baseball isn't for you? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. You go to the minors and you just kind of realize, hey, this is work over here, man. I thought I was working. This is work. And by the way, these guys are a lot better than I am. I want to go back to school, stay in the 5-star hotels, and be around the pretty, 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 pretty girls. So we got a lot to talk about today. Nick Roadcap's going to join us. Nick Roadcap's a kid that writes for the student newspaper. Brian, we had this kid on back in the spring when we played Indiana in ball, right? In baseball.
That was before the 2024 regional when Indiana came to play at Lindsey Nelson Stadium to preview their team.
So we had this kid. We wanted to bring this kid back on and just see kind of through his eyes what this deal was like this year. Because that is a Disney movie. That's a Disney movie that kid just lived through.
It's ironic because Tennessee's baseball program and Indiana's football program were both bottom of the barrel in their conference when Vitello took over and Kurt Signetti took over there, and both win national championships. And Tennessee's road to the national championship went through Indiana's baseball team.
Fleet Pete thinks our two questions are silly, Bry, in the current environment we're in. Will the Vols play for a national championship in the next 10 years in football? Silly? No, it's not. I'm asking you about your expectations, and you better have an answer. And we'll take those calls after we get done with the youngster. Who, look, you talk about peaking in college. This kid is showing photo of himself at the national championship scene. I have a piece of advice for him, and it's suck it up, soak it up. Because here's the deal. And we learned this back in 98. When you're on top of the mountain, you have a tendency to think, oh, yeah, this was easy. It's never easy. It's never easy. I wrote today in the blog, Brian sent me the teams that had won a national championship in the BCS era, but haven't really gotten a whiff in the playoff era, and we're one of those teams. I mean, Matt Dixon's not here to defend the Vols, but going to Ohio State and getting your doors blowed off, I don't call that getting a whiff. It's kind of like last year. Indiana and Tennessee got blowed out on consecutive nights. And if I'd have told you last year at the end of that, hey, listen, here's the good news. On that Friday night when many people were driving back, or was it Saturday night? It was a Saturday night. On that Saturday night when a lot of people were driving back from up there at Ohio Stadium, the good news is one of these two teams going to play for a national championship next year. Actually, they're going to win it. You know what you'd have thought? Well, Nico's coming back. We obviously are loading up for his junior year. We obviously have the NIL to do it. It's us. It's us. It's us. And so, the thing about this deal here, the thing I love about college football is that it's extremely unpredictable, but it's also kind of predictable. I mean, the same teams are still there. Look, there's an interloper. There's a couple of them right now. Texas Tech and also, obviously, Indiana. But who else is interloping? I mean, if it was that easy, everybody would be interloping, right? Right? Hoosier Ryan says, if you think about it, Tennessee was a game away from unofficially playing for it in 2022. Would have replaced Ohio State in the Peach Bowl against Georgia. And we saw what happened in the Natty against TCU. So, yes, Tennessee can do it in 10 years. That's the kind of constructive thing I'm looking for, and it comes from a Hoosier Vol. The Vols are in here making fun of me. The Vols are in here making fun of me. Vol. Brian, what happened to Bowl? Speaking of Vol. I was looking for Bowl the other day. What happened to Bowl?
Well, he might be smoking a bowl somewhere.
I mean, Bowl, you can't find him right now with a search warrant. Look up Bowl, Bri. His name came up in a conversation the other day. Genoy is obsessed with me. He says, Tony's bushy brows are getting some gray. Dude, I got some gray hair, man. I don't know how to tell you that. It's going to happen to you one day. It can happen to you. It can happen to me. But yeah, we got to know Bowl, not Minute Bowl, Bowl. And don't you all start the other jokes. There's no G-Bowl. So we have a lot to talk about. We'll get into it today. And I want to know what it was like for this kid that we sort of interviewed. I like this kid a year and a half ago. He made an impression on me and Bri, so we're inviting him on. What in the world was it like to be up there? And this kid saw the Signetti storm. Bri, think about this. When we had that kid on a summer and a half ago, played Indiana down here in baseball, Signetti was just hired here, or there, rather, Bri. You imagine if you'd have told that kid, hey, in the next 2 years, you're going to lose 2 football games, and you're going to win the national championship, the world championship of college football. Are you kidding me? Go ahead.
He told me that it was obvious from the start that Signetti was not going to limit the ceiling for Indiana being happy to play in a bowl game once in a while and go 6-6.
Damn.
He clearly wasn't going to let anything limit him.
Damn.
As far as what they could do. And he could tell that right away that Signetti had his eyes set on much higher goals. And I think Tony Vitello, when he got the Tennessee job, I don't think anybody thought, well, this guy can win national championships here or go to the College World Series every year.
Yep.
But obviously Vitello had his eyes at much higher goals.
That's exactly right. And so, and here's the thing. You're in a different era right now. As Ron Wright wannabe, who had a great line on, he said that the kid from Miami ought to take his college money when he buys his boat and call it the underthrow. The Campbell guy from Texas Tech, much to the chagrin of people like Danny White, basically called out Alabama and said, hey, man, they're passé. Because all their championships won't another minute by. Dust in the wind, dust in the wind. Everything at Alabama is dust in the wind. And when I look at our schedule this year with Alabama coming to town, that's a winnable game. Now, I don't know what we're going to have a quarterback because I don't quite understand it. But we'll see. I'm open to it. But the wonderful thing and the terrific thing is that anybody can win this thing now. And the Hoosiers have shown that. Everything I believed about college football is false. Everything I believed about it is fake and false and fake. (865-200-5402). Sam Schrock says the following. I'm with Dave. This is why I wanted Miami to win. Everything now is Signetti, is Saban 2.0, and everyone should do everything like that. Our head coach isn't going to do things like him. So, Sam, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. Take a brief time out. You got to be yourself, man. You got to be who you are. You got to do what you want, be who you are. As we continue with more after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it. It's a budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
TB, back with you. It's unbelievable, Andy. Fired up, focused, and prepared with you. Nick Roadcap joining us. This guy is. We encountered him as a young student, a youngster a few years back. Tennessee was getting ready to play Indiana in baseball, the program that gave us Kyle Schwarber back in the day. And Nick came on with us, and he impressed us at that time as a precocious youngster. He tells me off the air, he says, "Look, I'm from Indianapolis. My family, we're all Hoosiers to the core." Imagine going off to college as this young guy and being interested in being in this business and getting a chance to be around this as a young person, and out of nowhere, Nick, we had just spoken with you. Curt Signetti had just gotten there, essentially. Out of nowhere, it was back in 2024, out of nowhere, the Indiana Hoosiers are the world champions of college football. Nick, can you believe, as I welcome you in, that this has happened under your watch? You're partially responsible for this?
Honestly, I still can't believe it, and I probably won't be able to believe it until I've watched Indiana football for another 10 to 15 years, and I realized, wait a minute, what I watched was so historic, you literally couldn't sell it as a movie script because it was too perfect.
And look, I mean, the thing about the story is that there's a bunch of kids that were just kind of misfit toys. A bunch of these guys were left behind. Now, look, you're on a pretty big campus. How do those guys carry themselves on that campus, like during this run? You interact with those guys. Are they pretty well behaved? Are they wild? I mean, let's get some of the juice out here.
I mean, I would say, as far as I've seen, they're well behaved. I mean, after they landed coming back from Miami, they came straight down to Bloomington, and they were out at the bars, and some of my friends were taking pictures with them. But I'd say now they get a chance to finally be normal college kids, even if it's only for a little bit. They're very humble, and it starts with Curt Signetti recruiting them partly based on their character. He talks about how he recruits high-character guys, and that's why you never hear about these guys getting into any sort of trouble off the field or anything like that, just because if Signetti saw that would potentially be an issue, he wouldn't recruit them. So I would say that they're normal college kids, but obviously they're way more athletically gifted than the average college kid is. But outside of that, they're just normal guys.
Yeah, they carry themselves like there was no muss, no fuss. There was no look at me at any time during the year from any of them. Or maybe I'm missing it. I never saw any of that from their team, including the quarterback.
I think especially Fernando Mendoza, because Fernando, he's a guy who he was a Miami fan. He grew up like 20 minutes from the University of Miami campus, and he was denied the opportunity to walk on for the Hurricanes. So I think that kind of humbled him, and that inspired him to work, just basically to outwork everybody. And he's talked about it for years. There was an old interview clip that resurfaced about how he didn't want to have a girlfriend because he thought it would distract him from football when he could be watching film and listening and preparing for games. And that's the kind of work ethic that all of these guys have because they were overlooked coming out of high school or even through the transfer portal, and it gave them a chip on their shoulder this year.
Yeah, it's an incredible story. You were there? You were at the National. Were you covering it for a student outlet, or who were you covering it for?
So I was doing a little bit of double duty. Before the game, I was with the Hoosier Network, which is my outlet that I've been with the last 2 years. We do multimedia stuff, video packages, podcasts, written work as well. And we also have phenomenal photographers. And then I was fortunate enough to be on the student radio broadcast for the game. I was sideline reporting for the national championship at Hard Rock Stadium, which is a sentence that I would not have believed even last year if you told me I was going to do it.
And you got a chance to be there. What was it like being on that field after that game, having just witnessed that? I saw the photos of you and a little video.
I'm not very sentimental, but I'll admit I got choked up. Just knowing that regardless of what happened before the game, just knowing that it was going to be over, I didn't want it to end. But I was also so glad that it had happened, regardless of what the result of the game was going to be. But then to see all the IU fans, I mean, they outnumbered Miami fans. It was probably 60-40 in favor of IU fans. And to see all of them celebrating, to see the emotion of the players. I mean, Coach Signetti finally smiled, which everybody knows that he never smiles. Just knowing that so many IU fans have suffered through so much futility, and this guy comes in and he just takes it all away in 2 years. It's ridiculous. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and it was right in front of me.
Yeah, he just refused to carry himself like a loser. He refused to say, hey, our goal's 500 this year. He refused to say, we don't belong at the party. I mean, one of the first things out of his mouth, and I mean, I got this guy on Mondays and Fridays I hang out with. His name is Bino. He's kind of a simpleton. And Bino didn't like him saying, check the Google my record. Bino, that ran all over Bino, but hey, the guy's got a good point, man. Check my record. Check my record. I win. Everywhere I go, I win.
Absolutely. And, you know, it was interesting because I remember where I was when I found out that IU was hiring Coach Signetti. I was sitting in the media school. I was a sophomore at the time. I was the end of first semester of that year, and I hear this Kurt Signetti. I've never heard of this guy, but I looked him up, and sure enough, he had won everywhere he had been. I mean, he had turned around IU Pennsylvania. He turned around Elon. He brought James Madison to the FBS and was very successful in doing that. So I'm thinking, okay, we might have something here. But obviously the question was, could he bring that level of success to the Power 5 at the time, now the Power 4? And it was kind of an unknown, but it was refreshing to hear somebody talk about Indiana football as though the program could be successful, because for a long time, the goal was just to be 6-6, make a bowl game, and maybe win it. And he said, no, throw that out the window. We want to be the very best. And he followed through on it.
Hey, listen, that's one of the reasons why I appreciate Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes came to Knoxville and after a year realized, hey, I got an incredible fan base here. We fill this building every night. We've got big boosters that are interested in it. There's no reason we can't build a Final Four caliber basketball team here and play at the very high of the sport. And that's basically what they've done for a decade. Now, the one thing that Signetti's been able to do that Barnes hasn't been able to do is get through that mythical glass ceiling. And I don't know how the hell the guy did it. Because, look, last year, Nick, when you guys went out there on the Friday night before we went out there on a Saturday night, we both got our kingdoms torn down by these traditional, and we have a traditional power here, obviously, but Ohio State with that huge high payroll they have. Notre Dame somehow missed the playoffs with that great team they brought back this year, but they ripped Indiana's kingdom down last year. I thought, you know, boy, that was a great story, Indiana. And this guy basically said, hold my beer. I mean, they came back for more, man. It was incredible.
Yeah, I remember covering that game in Notre Dame last year, and obviously being from Indianapolis, I know a lot of Notre Dame fans. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, this kind of feels like the Ohio State game in that the moment is too big. And for a long time, Signetti didn't say anything to that effect because obviously immediately after the game, it was just, man, this hurts that it's over, but I'm thankful for the seniors. Aiden Fisher, the linebacker, said, hey, I expect to be back here next year. And I'm thinking, okay, so these guys still believe, but they know that there's another gear they have to kick it into. And before, I think it was the Big Ten Championship, Signetti finally said that he did think that stage, the college football playoff, was a little bit too big for that year's team just because they had never gone through it before. But I think that playoff loss was one of the best things to happen to them because it showed them what championship caliber football looks like, and it showed Indiana they had to get better in the trenches. And what did they do? Well, they took Notre Dame center, Pat Coogan, who the Irish didn't want anymore, and they brought him to Bloomington. And he made a huge difference for them this year, taking them to that next level.
Yeah, we took a guy from Notre Dame who we ended up sticking at center. It would have been nice to get Coogan because he became one of the key pieces for them. Where else were they active in the transfer portal last year, or did they just basically run it back?
Trying to think back, I think it helps that guys like Mikhail Kamara came back, but they needed to find another edge rusher, so they brought in Stephen Daly, who played for 0-12 Kent State.
Wow.
And Stephen Daly was actually the backup edge rusher opposite Kamara, because Indiana also brought in a guy from Maryland named Kellen Wyatt. And Wyatt, unfortunately, suffered a season-ending injury against Michigan State, but he was huge for Indiana in the win over Oregon at Austin Stadium back in October. That was his last full game before he got hurt. Daly comes in, and in basically half a season, he leads the conference in tackles for loss. And he was somehow only honorable mention all Big Ten, but he was a game wrecker in the Big Ten championship against Ohio State, and unfortunately for him, he suffered a knee injury celebrating after the game. But those guys on the defensive front were absolutely huge for Indiana. In the secondary, they brought back a couple guys.
Wait a second here. A guy that came from an 0-10 or 0-12, whatever it is, Kent team was one of their better players at end. They identify that well.
Yeah.
My gosh, that's disgusting.
Signetti has a great eye for talent.
God,
and
that is disgusting.
He's an elite evaluator. I mean, this guy recruited Mark Ingram and Julio Jones to Alabama back in the day.
How many analysts does Signetti have? Tennessee, I think, has 47, we were told.
47.
Does Indiana have a lot of analysts that aren't on the field coaching?
Yeah, they're
that
analyzing.
they use?
Yep.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think the staff is as big as people say it is, because I feel like Signetti has been kind of very vocal about how he is the general manager and the head coach. In terms of X's and O's, he's pretty hands-off. He lets the coordinators kind of do their thing. But when it comes to building the roster, he's very active on that front, just recruiting guys, scouting guys, figuring out who he wants.
You know, it's an incredible thing to stop and think about what has gone on. Obviously, they've gotten lucky with some guys. Obviously, there are guys that probably have played way above their, or maybe they're not. Maybe their organization's that good. But give me a couple memories for you here on the way out. Just because your family comes from Indianapolis, I just can't imagine. I want my living Vol fan to feel this thing one more time. I want us to lift that chalice. And you all made it look easy, man. You all made it look easy.
I would say the first one from this year was when Indiana beat Oregon at Austin Stadium, because I'll admit that I went on record, I said Oregon would win that game just because IU had crumbled in big road environments the year before. But being on that field after that game, my jaw was on the floor, and looking around, the Oregon fans couldn't believe it either. That was absolutely ridiculous. Just being in Eugene, and that stadium is incredible. It was so loud, and somehow they handled it, and they came out on top. And I would say the other one, obviously the national championship win, but the Big Ten championship against Ohio State, because I thought Ohio State was invincible. I really did. And somehow IU beat them at their own game at Lucas Oil Stadium, which I was 15 minutes from my house, and I'm a Colts fan as well.
Incredible, kid. Soak it up, kid. I love it.
Did you go to Pasadena and Atlanta too?
Yep, I went to every single game this year at Penn State.
What in the world, man? You're peaking at the age of 22 over here.
Yeah, I know, and I'm standing on the field at Hard Rock at like 1 a.m. on Tuesday, and I'm thinking, it does not get any better than this, does it?
No, it does not. You're giving me chills right now. It does not.
Yeah.
It does not. It cannot. It will. It's crazy. It is crazy. I'm so happy for you. That's an awesome, incredible story. Tell me about our strength and conditioning coach we just hired and gave a big chick to. And the impact he's had on these kids in 2 years there. I know that Mendoza gave him a lot of love, but obviously he's a pretty tough guy. The great Brent Hubbs had a note. Apparently this guy gets after it with people.
Yeah, Derek Owings was a big part of IU's success over the last couple of years. I remember we got a soundbite from left tackle Carter Smith in the middle of the season because Indiana didn't have to deal with a lot of injuries, even as the games kept stacking up. They played 6 straight games without a bye, beginning with that Oregon game, and they came out of it relatively healthy. Carter Smith told us that one of the things that Coach Owings preaches is that motion is lotion. So the more mobile you are, the better off you are when it comes to staying healthy throughout the season. And that was obviously huge for Indiana this year.
Did you say motion is lotion?
Yes.
And that's what Owings says?
That's what he preaches, according to Carter Smith.
Go, man. I got to add that to the adjuster. Brian, motion is lotion. How many times are you going to hear that this summer?
Motion is lotion.
Motion is lotion. My friend, if folks want to interact with you, how do they do so?
I want to ask you one question, Tom. The Mendoza kid, his brother is going to Georgia Tech. Tennessee faces Georgia Tech. Second game. Tell us a little bit about him. What can we expect?
Brian, you're on your game today, dude.
Yeah, Alberto, he is, according to Omar Cooper, he told us this at the start of the year.
Yep.
He thinks that Alberto has a stronger arm than Fernando does. And Alberto is also quicker with his legs. Fernando didn't use his legs that much, except for that huge quarterback draw on 4th down against Miami. But Alberto will use his legs. He ripped off a couple 50-plus yard runs this year where he just flat out outran people. So I think he's going to fit that Georgia Tech system very well. We haven't really seen him air it out that much just because he's been the backup the last couple of years. But Indiana's wide receivers say he's got a stronger arm than his brother does, and I think that's really interesting.
Alberto VO5. You are the man. Motion is lotion. Give out your coordinates, and I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I'm mostly on Twitter at Nick Roadcap, NickRoDecap, as in purple. Also, I host a weekly radio show here in Bloomington. All the best clips from that get uploaded to my Twitter. That's pretty much the hub for everything. And I've covered IU baseball the last 3 years, but I don't think I'll be doing it this year because I'm focused on trying to find a job post-grad, which is kind of scary, but, we'll get through it.
Hey, you got a bright future. I'll tell you that right now. You have a bright future, brother. Thank you. Thank you, my man. Good talking to you. These people in the chat poo-pooed on that young man's appearance on here, and he comes with motion as lotion, and now everybody's popping for him. Because I don't mean to cause a commotion, but motion is lotion.
I've got a piece of advice.
Hit it.
Don't listen to people in the chat.
Well, there's
too much.
There's a couple.
Just don't listen to them. Tune them out.
There's a couple great ones in the chat. Did you see what out of the mouth of babes and would-be giraffes? Did you see what Mark Pope said last night after the Kentucky game? Their close shave victory last night. He had a very interesting thing to say about, and I haven't seen anybody say this, about Bediako. Because Betty Crocco is playing against the Vols Saturday night. He said, in my humble opinion, now that they've gotten this stay here, and he's going to play apparently, in any game he suits up in, if another court comes back and they strike this thing down, okay, would Alabama have not been using an illegal basketball player? And you know what the answer to that is? As I compared notes with one of my basketball guys today, the answer is yes, that's true. You know, it's almost like those of you that follow high school basketball or high school sports, you know, you can forfeit your wins if you have an illegal player out there. This Betty Crocco guy is on an NBA two-way contract. He's a two-way guy. Now, look, I like brownies as much as the next person. I like a yellow cake with some chocolate icing. But this Betty Crocco guy is an illegal player, isn't he? Brian, do you agree with the head coach of Kentucky last night as he stood before a microphone? And see, I like Pope. I like him for that reason. Because he said you should forfeit those games and the NCAA tournament should hold it against them, and they should not count towards the NCAA tournament if it's struck down. Now, if it's not struck down when the court case is held, then more power to you. But anything they do with an illegal player on the floor, they should lose credit for. Yes or no, Bri?
Well, unless Tennessee can get Kennedy Chandler back for Saturday night, or Keon Johnson, Jaden Springer. Yeah, I kind of side with Mark Pope on this issue.
Ars Manning said we should bring back Doug Roth. He could be the last piece for our Final Four run. We heard from Ars Manning. Always good to hear from Ars on a Thursday. Real Mr. Tubb says Barnes should protest. Justin Anderson says the best line about that is the NCAA is the one it's their tournament. Unlike the playoff thing, which isn't their tournament, the NCAA actually, the basketball tournament is their baby. And in their eyes, you're using an illegal player against the Vols Saturday night. It's really interesting to stop and think about that.
Plays against. But all eyes are going to be on that game for that reason.
Yes.
A lot of eyes will be.
Yes. So I think that is an interesting thing. I'm going to ask the living listener at 865-200-5402. Do you believe that? Because motion, I got the potion. God, I love this guy. Motion is lotion, and I'm causing a commotion because I got the potion. If you got the notion, I got the potion. Motion is lotion. G-Mac, we're going to add 20 because I got the potion. See that, Bri? That kid brought it to the table. That was an incredible segment. You got great instincts for this, Bri. Because as Madonna once said, I'm causing a commotion. Bri, what did you think when that guy said that motion is lotion, right on the radio show?
I could identify with that. It's always good. That's a good life lesson. Is the more you move around, the easier it will be to move around later on. And the less you'll need to rely on a doctor or prescription meds. So
Basilio Brain Donor
just
says,
remember that.
Does Tony think UT and Vandy should forfeit their 2025 seasons? Both quarterbacks played because of an injunction. You're not a very smart person, dude. I said if it gets struck down, you goof. The case hasn't even been heard yet. You goof. I mean, you need to learn something there, Basilio Brain Donor. It sounds like I'm talking to myself. But I'm talking to some inanimate object. Some cold steel machine. Because I can't see you, Basilio Brain Donor. I don't know if you're trying to gig me right now. But you know, I think this is an interesting thing what the Betty Croco guys getting ready to do. Bri, who are we playing? The team that is putting him on the floor. Does he go and play Saturday night, Bri? You think we see Betty Croco Saturday night? And will he bake some brownies?
Because all indications are he's going to play.
Yeah, because if I knew you were coming, I'd have baked
Nate Oates said something about how he was complaining earlier about how it takes away opportunities from high school kids and things like that.
Yep.
And it seems like he's sort of going the other way on it, sort of acting out of either side of his mouth.
And we also have a new chatter over here in the YouTube room is kind of comical. There's a couple hundred people in here in the middle of the day. I have no idea why, but Calhoun's carp is very, very funny. He said during that interview, he said, I just swam as hard as I could into the Star of Knoxville trying to knock myself out. He also said, I'm now swimming against stream, against the current, against the tide, and I'm trying to get myself some pieces of a roll. Some of you just tickle me. Some of you don't. Some of you really amuse me. Some of you don't. Tony knows I'm right. If the judge rules against the players in the Pavia suit, Tony wouldn't be calling for Tennessee to forfeit, blah, 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 blah. Hey, listen, man, you're boring. You're boring. I don't know you're right. I know you're boring. I know one thing. You missed the nuance. Who controls college football? Not the same people that control the NCAA tournament. See, that's where you're wrong. You missed the nuance there, brah. And what Pope said last night is if they put an ineligible player out there that the NCAA has already told them ineligible, not an ineligible player, their Basilio brain donor, which it sounds like I'm yelling at myself. So I'm going to call you BBD for short. BBD. The NCAA controls this NCAA tournament. They should knock Kentucky down. If Kentucky wins 4 or 5 games with this kid before that case is heard, and they rule him ineligible, Brian, they should all be forfeits. That's what Mark Pope said last night. And I'm asking you right now, Mark, Bri, do you believe Pope on a rope? Yes or no?
I think that's what they don't normally do when you use that's what they've always done is when games that were played with an ineligible player have been
that's exactly right
expunged from the record books. That's what they've always done.
And you know damn right well if you're playing Betty Croco tomorrow night, you know damn right well what you're doing.
Does Nate Oates get scared and not play him maybe?
Nah, he doesn't have our AD. They're going to play him. I mean, no offense to our AD, but
imagine if that happened with Danny White and being such an institutional guy. If Barnes had a player that
he'd have an anxiety attack. He'd be over there like me back in the day, breathing into a bag, trying to calm it all down. By the way, G-Max Carbload has now entered the chat. We got Necadave in here commenting. Real Mr. Tubbs is in the house. And then we have Alan Ward from WeShipFloors.com who uses his real name because he's nuts. Look, Michael Moats maybe says it best. You're talking about a guy in Oates who literally played a guy that killed somebody. Now, I don't know how to tell you that. I don't. I mean, Urban Meyer and that guy can relate to each other. They played somebody that killed somebody. Go to the phones. 865-200. 540. Bediako changes a game tomorrow night. Or Saturday night, because he will alter some shots at the rim. No doubt about it. Let's go to the phones. I'm on the record right now, and I believe in there are no rules, Bri. But this, you're crawling back a professional player. You're asking for it if you're Alabama. I think the head coach at Kentucky's right. I say you're asking for it here, Bri. What do you say, Betty Crocco?
I say the Vols are going to have a lot of people who normally hate the Vols.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have some of those folks as fans tomorrow or Saturday night because they'll all laugh if Tennessee beats Alabama and Bediako plays significant minutes.
865-200-5402. And then you tell me, in the next 10 years, do you think Tennessee plays for a natty in football? Because here's what I came up with on the blog today. You tell me if I'm all wet. I might be. I might be guilty as charged here. But when I think about our ball club, and I think about next season, my consideration goes to, in the next 10 years, I expect to, whether it's a 12 or a 16-team playoff, if it's a 12-team playoff, I expect to get to that playoff 3.5 times. If it's a 16-team playoff, I expect to get to that playoff 5 times. Now, out of those 5 times, do I expect to ascend all the way to the national championship game? No, not really. How can you say that, Tony? Well, we played for one natty in 47 years, 51 and 98. So we're not in our dispensation yet. We're still more time. Right? But I expect to get to the playoffs several times. I expect to, make it real, so to speak. But playing for a national championship, that's winning multiple playoff games in one sitting. That's a lot to ask. Think about what Indiana did last year. They went out and got blowed out last year, which makes sense, right? It's a very difficult thing to get to that championship game. The following teams, and then we'll go to the phones. Florida, Florida State, Miami, Auburn, Texas, Oklahoma, USC, Tennessee, all won the natty under the BCS format. Miami proved this year you can get back. And they did it in 2001, which we did it in 98. It's been a long time. Been a long, lonely. And they went through the valleys too, just like we did. And so the question becomes, in a 10-year period, Tennessee can do it. Do I think they will do it? I think they will have multiple playoff appearances, and I think that'll be fun. Getting to a final game, think about that now. Getting to a final, it's one thing to get there, win a game, maybe win 2 games, maybe get to a semifinal. But getting to the final game is really hard in that deal. Whether it's a 12-team, whether it's a 16-team format, that's going on a journey. Literally, ask Titan fans how hard it is to, and I'm not being funny here. Ask them how hard it is to make a Super Bowl when you get in there. Because you're going to run into Patrick Mahomes in the championship game. Unless you have one of those players. But we'll go ahead and go to the phones. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's David over in Brentwood. How you doing?
Hey, David in Brentwood. Good to hear your voice, my friend.
It's good talking to you. And hello, Brian. Hey, really enjoyed your segment this morning with, was it Nick in Indiana?
Yeah, with that kid, yeah.
He did a great job. And I will say this about Coach Owings, what I heard over here on a local show this morning. Yep. I understand that he had his first session with the players yesterday, their workout.
Yeah.
And they said that David Sanders said it's the hardest workout he's ever had in one day. I think he had many of the players over there just vomiting. It was so hard. So,
well, what happened is a bunch of guys came in kind of off the holiday, and they're thinking, oh, it's going to be like the old guy. We're just going to grab some jump rope and pull on some ropes and this, that, and the other. And this guy went old school on them, buddy.
Yes, he did. And so I love it. I think he's going to do a great job, it being here in GMAC's backyard. And I understand he's doing everything he can possibly do to gain weight and everything he can. And I'm sure they've got him on a hard nutrition program as well. But I think he's going to surprise some folks come fall. I have my personal opinion about this weight thing. I think he's doing everything he can to gain weight. If weight was an issue, Nico, I don't know what his excuse was, but we had him. But I think GMAC's going to do fine. I think he's going to surprise us come fall.
I hope you're right. I mean, now there's no other option now. So I hope you're right. Either that or the freshman's going to play.
Well, you're right. And I have a question for you and Brian, and I apologize if I missed it this week.
You're fine.
What was the pipeline for Alberto from Indiana to Georgia Tech? Was that already made? Why were he not taking a peek at him?
Oh, he's a kid. I mean, then you have 3 kids. What Tennessee had to do was land a veteran quarterback to kind of help the kids along. I don't understand why they took the kid from Colorado. Maybe they think, because the 2 things that kid can do, if you look into him, is he can throw a ball down the field and he can run around a little bit. So maybe they're thinking, perhaps we can make a quarterback out of this guy. But yeah, you're talking about a kid that played very little in Alberto VO5 Ozuna's brother. And so, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Ozuna. I mean, what little film I've seen on him, I tell you, he looked pretty good. I don't know anything about the kid from Colorado.
Yeah.
But my goodness, he'd been, to my opinion, just as good as the Staub kid. And no offense to him. None at all. I'm just saying.
No, the Staub kid is the ultimate Staub gap. What other conclusion can you come to? Now, they might be able to make a quarterback out of him. I don't know, but geez, man, I don't know if I'd bet on that. I think it's going to be either one of those 2 kids. And look, I hope George gains the weight because they're really afraid of that. And you know that too, living in that community.
Yep.
The Vols are afraid of that.
Well, and you've already talked about this before. There's some underlying factors. I know some people are close to him.
Yeah, I didn't know. People say that, but I don't know whether he's got like food allergies or whatever it is.
Yeah, there may be some things here, and I don't want to talk out of school here. Mm-hmm. I know some people. I've met the kid once, nice kid, Knox family. I'm not, I don't know him that well. Mm-hmm. I just understand he's doing all he can. Well, and we want him to do well. Now, to your question about will we see a national championship, Tony, I'm 65 years old.
Yep.
About 10 years, 75.
Do we
I'm
play
going to say one. Yeah. We better hurry up. But I'm going to say this. I'm with you. I think we'll see playoff games. But I don't think we're going to see a national championship with Coach Heupel.
I'm not asking if we win a national championship. I'm asking if we play for one. Because winning a national championship.
I think we'll play. I think there's a chance we're going to play for one.
Yeah.
But and I like Coach Heupel. I love Coach Barnes. But I don't think it's going to be with Heupel.
Appreciate you. Thank you, brother. Yeah, that's an interesting little caveat to that. Thank you, my man. Good talking to you. People say, well, how come you haven't gotten into like GMAC and the allergies? I don't know anything about that stuff. People talk about it and they write on that stuff on chat boards. I'm staying with what I know. And this is what I know about him. They like him. But he's too spindly. Maybe this Owings guy can reach in there and do with him what he did with Mendoza. He took Mendoza to not pipsqueaky, but Mendoza was already 205 and he made him a monster, kind of. That Mendoza thing, when him reaching out with that football, that was Tim Tebow stuff there. I'm going to go downhill on you. I'm going to stare right into the face. Think about how the will to get that ball into the end zone, when you stretch out like that, knowing you're going to get crunched in the small of your back or the middle of your chest, I mean, he's no dummy. And he exposed himself and reached that ball into the end zone. That was one heck of a play. That's going to be, if there's an artist up there, there will be an artistic rendering. That particular play will be in everybody that cares in those parts. 25 years from now will be a painting on the wall. Kind of like the Dale Jones print I have from 1985, the interception. I've got one of those Dale Jones prints. Or I guess it was from the Sugar Bowl. But it's on the wall on the other side of our Rainier Studio Annex. 865-200-5402. So we've got, will the Vols in the next 10 years play? Do you expect them to play in a national championship game? I'm saying out loud I don't. But I do think we'll make multiple national champion or multiple playoff game appearances. Who off the following list do you expect to play in one? Because the following teams have won only a BCS natty, but never a playoff natty. Florida, Florida State, Miami, who did it this year, Auburn, Texas, Oklahoma, USC, Tennessee. To be honest with you, I'm not sure who off that list is going to do that. Now, they can all do it.
Texas is my choice.
They can all do it. Like, anybody can do it. Indiana shows you that anybody can do it. How about Indiana getting a defensive end off an 0-12 team who they plug in after a guy they got off a terrible Maryland team went off this year, and they plug this guy in, and he's a great player. You talk about knowing your craft. Whoever's doing that, knowing your craft. And I want to think the Owings guy is part of the secret sauce as well. And now the secret sauce, and it ain't Thousand Island dressing either. Now the secret sauce resides in Knoxville. So take that, Signetti. So we continue with more after this. Hour 2, we'll get your calls in. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gufon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years. 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too. Both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, Pipe Wrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with Pipe Wrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at pipewrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol. And now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Coming in hot and taking you up to the playbook with William Pattison. My name's Tony Basilio, and we're back with you. Fire that thing up, focus that thing, and prepare it, because here we are, locked and loaded for our due on your radio. Pretty pumped to be with you. Let's go back to our phones. You know, the game is no longer played on the courts. It's played in court. And that's the way the NCAA apparently wants it, because they don't want to collectively bargain. Because Danny White's exactly right. He's one of the few people courageous enough to say it out loud, and he gets a lot of credit for that. He's one of the few people that's involved in these sports to say, what are we doing here? Now we got Betty Crocco coming back from, and does he have another, Brian, are you a Betty, did you ever collect Betty Crocco box tops back in the day for like school drives or Campbell soup labels? Because when I was a kid in Catholic school, we were into all those rackets, trying to get the kickbacks.
Pretty much all the icing from Betty Crocker, so I guess so.
All right. So you got that court case. You got the court case that our quarterback is tied to along with Pavia. You got that court case. You got the Mensa court case, which once and for all is going to be, what exactly are these agreements when we get into a court of law? Do I own your marketing rights? Do I own your playing rights when I'm buying your marketing rights, even though these contracts aren't pay for play? Here's another one. Are we going to have a 12-team playoff or a 16-team playoff next year? That's another one that's going to be decided. And then we're going to have somebody, believe it or not, that's going to want to get into the portal after the spring. That's going to happen. They're going to challenge that. Then we're going to have a fifth-year player, because now they've taken this fifth-year thing off the table, that wants to do a graduate transfer that they're no longer going to let go on, that's going to want to do that. And so we're playing games on courts and fields, but we're really playing games in courts. And the litigation, what a great business we have. So, yeah, and Penny Knower says it's billing. No question about it. No question about that. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. In the midst of all this, we've got a Saturday night game with Bediako. Listen, you put him out there and you beat Tennessee, we should get credit for the victory, Bri. They're using an illegal player. Let's go to the phones.
Or not be counted for the loss.
Yeah, or it doesn't count against you because they have an illegal player.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not trying to be, and I'm not saying we're going to lose, but let's go to the phones and get our next call in. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
W. Lynn, do you agree with that? They put an illegal player out there. We should have the win.
I agree. I got some questions. Was this kid drafted?
Yes.
What, second round or first?
Good question. He's on a two-way deal with them. I would guess he's a second-round pick. Let me see here.
So did he get an NBA check?
Let me look it up. Well, he's on a two-way contract. I don't think he's I don't think let me look here. Bediako draft NBA. Let me see where he went. He might have been a free agent for all I know. Let's see here.
Well,
but he was eligible.
I'm thinking
he was
that might be part of the
that
difference.
Draft. Okay, he went undrafted. He went undrafted, but he left Alabama after his sophomore season, signed with the Spurs shortly after the draft, and after signing with the Spurs, he later joined the Pistons G League affiliate in 2023. So
now any player in NFL or Major League Baseball that's a free agent could come back.
He signed deals with the Spurs, the Nuggets, and the Pistons. So he's coming back. Yeah, they're blazing a trail here.
Yeah, if you're an NFL free agent or a baseball low draft, I don't know. Yeah, they can come back. and the reason he's playing Saturday was something a Tuscaloosa judge ruled.
Well, against and over the wishes of the NCAA. So when the NCAA, because Alabama knows they're doing this against the wishes of the NCAA. The NCAA, who controls the tournament, should they hold it against them, W. Lynn, the games they play, and if they win those games with him, should they be forfeits and count as losses?
Yeah, they should be forfeits, for Pete's sakes. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
That's exactly last night what the head coach at Kentucky said, and he's got a great point. Pope on a rope.
And somebody brought it up earlier. Remember, they had a player that actually took a murder weapon to a murder.
Well, I mean, come on. You little things. Boys will be boys, as their coach said at the time. Boys will be boys.
I mean, he did more than Ray Lewis did in Atlanta, basically.
Boys will be.
And they didn't miss a beat in basketball. Is that the team that went to the Final Four?
Ray Lewis is platformed by ESPN, by the way, so there is that.
But anyhow, so I think, it ought to be a forfeit. I can't believe it. And I'm with Brian. A lot of people might be pulling for us just because of that. It's terrible.
Yep. The Vols will be the
But
darling
I want to say,
of society.
commend.
Go ahead.
I want to commend you and Brian for getting Nick from Indiana.
Yep.
What I like about him, he's young, and I would like to get from the youth, the young people like him, I want to know their feel for the coast-to-coast Big Ten. I wouldn't mind hearing him in baseball season, basketball, just to see what this coast-to-coast Big Ten means to young people like him.
Yep.
My last memory of Big Ten softball is watching Monica Abbott's team of great players at Tyson Park playing against Michigan, who had several girls that looked like they were great-granddaughters of Bronco Nagurski. That's all I know about Big Ten softball.
Buddy, they growing big in the Big Ten.
But now I keep forgetting the Big Ten is
Lots
UCLA.
of taters. Lots of taters, brah.
It's
Yeah, I can remember
But,
Jake Locker, your former number 1 pick, behind the backstop chanting Pac-10 softball at us during one of those. It was a College World Series. It was a Women's College World Series. Pac-10 softball. Pac-10 softball. That's when I knew you had a real winner on your hands. He was a real winner.
But as far as getting to the national championship game, I think we got a great chance, yes. I think we'll be there once in the next 10 years. As far as the football playoff, if it's 16 teams, my over-under on that this is just me personally, 6.5.
Yeah, you would almost live in the playoffs if you're at Tennessee and you've got it going properly in a 16-team playoff. You would almost have to try to miss the playoff. Although, who knows? Would the 16-team playoff then incentivize more teams in the soft middle to get in there and fight for players with you? That would be interesting to see.
Well, it depends on how the prices of the NILs, players, whatever you pay for play, whatever you want to call it, spirals out of control.
You're right.
Then the mid players, unless they have a big billionaire, some of them will fall out.
Or they'll find somebody, or they'll rise. So this Indiana thing's got me rethinking this deal.
Yeah.
It's got to, right, W. Lynn? You never thought that was possible,
It does.
did you?
I mean, who knew, Texas Tech has the billionaire of all billionaires, and all of a sudden they're going to be a powerhouse, and Indiana and Vandy are kind of examples too. And, it's got me thinking different, but I don't know how many people can do that I'm not sure Ole Miss can do that, or Missouri.
W. Lynn, it's going to be very, very interesting. You do believe within 10 years we play for a natty. I love it, man.
And I'll tell you what, if we go to that Big Ten model of 24 teams, I'd say we ought to be in the playoffs. It'd be 8.5 out of 10 years.
Thank you, brother. 2014 playoff would just absolutely destroy the sport. Bride Genoy saying that North Carolina built an underground poker shed so they can receive NIL funds through Michael Jordan. Have you heard that? I mean, I'm not reporting that.
They also created a fake college or a fake class.
Yes, that.
But one thing about whether the Vols can get to a championship game, don't let what happened between 2007 and 2021 cloud your judgment. If this program is run properly, they are more than capable of amassing the type of team that could get there. They've been close on other occasions. They've been one game away from playing for it. So that's just a couple other things to think about.
Back to the phones we go. Those of you that are missing out on the comment section over at YouTube, miss such. Coastal Vol is now asking something called at Calhoun's Carp. Who's bigger, Tennessee River carp or Lake Winnipesaukee carp? See, that's why I get up in the morning. That's why I get up in the morning. People say, Tony, we see you looking at the YouTube chats and you giggle and you laugh along, and I do. I laugh along. Jennifer Morris, great Jennifer Morrison here yesterday. She said, your silly, inane musical references. And then when you start riffing off those goofy chatters, she said the whole thing is just so, it's just fun. That's what we're doing. I'll tell you what's not fun is the thought of our $4 million freshman taking it strong to the hole and Betty Crocco putting a little extra icing on it and knocking that kid to the ground because he's been playing with professional basketball players for the last 2 years. And he's back in college basketball right now. Who's the head of the NCAA right now, Brian? I don't even know. That's how insignificant the NCAA is.
Well,
to me.
Ethan Berg has been playing with professionals too.
All right, let's say Ethan Berg then. Ethan Berg's head of the over his dead body. I mean, what are we doing? Betty Crocco, Betty Crocco, Betty Crocco. Let's go to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Gino Muppet.
Imagine hanging on for 20 minutes and pumping, I don't know, what would it be, like $1.75 in the one phone booth that still exists in our city, which I think is over in the Rocky Hill community, ironically enough. So I think we just had 2 phone calls back in a row from the Rocky Hill community on this worldwide stadium. Imagine that. Can you imagine that? Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You are on our Thursday edition.
Ooh, I'm following some legends today, Tony.
Legend Day. Legend Bay Day.
Hey, Tony, I'll be honest with you. NIL, it's wore on me. I've tried to take the one of my mentors, Bino's. He encouraged me a few years ago to dig that hole deeper in the sand. To put my head, I didn't have my head down deep enough. Keep my cup on and dig that hole deeper. Get it down deep in that sand. And, I guess I've just got too much old man get off my yard and all that welling up in me these days. But something about this last little deal with the pros coming back, it's so stupid. It made me laugh a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, it's just so stupid.
But you're a man of the cloth, right? So you realize this because psychologists, police officers, counselors, teachers, people that are in those lines of work realize this one thing, which is humans are a lot like dogs, from a perspective of if you tie a dog up, the part of the leash that they're going to burn out, they're going to burn a trail, and it's going to be as long as that leash extends, and they're going to try to stretch it out that much further. So it's only human nature that if you can consider it, a human's going to do it. And down in Alabama, they said, you know what? We're a forward short here. So, Raj, why don't we go and get one of these guys that's floating around the G League right now who we know and bring him back to play? And we have an 18-year-old kid going to drive on him.
They do it right.
Yeah, we have an 18-year-old.
We don't announce it.
Oh, no. We just sneak him in.
You look out there at Josh Bone and Kennedy Chandler, who got poor advice. They got just very misleading advice to go ahead and go pro, make some money.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, let's just step it up a notch farther. Let's drag Lofton's old bones. Let's have him take that headset off. He should have been given another year. He played with cancer. No one changed his age, advised him he could appeal for another year. And we might get 3.5 minutes out of him, and that 3.5 minutes would be better perimeter shooting than we've had all year. Let's just get crazy with it. I mean, the whole game is going to be like a glorified scrimmage anyway. Let's push it to the max.
How old would Lofton be right now? Any idea? Like 40-ish?
He'd be almost 40.
You think he could defend like that Berg guy?
I mean, have you seen what we're throwing up? I mean, yes. Yeah, I guarantee you he can outstroke anybody on that team. Now, maybe not longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes of him, yeah. Like a hockey shift, like a Kim Caldwell hockey shift.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is like one thing I like about it, it reminds me of church league basketball or men's league basketball. you always have the surprises. There's no way that guy's under 30 years old. You know, this is good stuff in some sick way.
And here's the question. If they throw him out there, right, because this is an NCAA-sanctioned event, is Mark Pope right? And the NCAA should say those are losses. If you put him on the floor at the end of the year.
I don't think that's strong enough, to be honest. I think you ought to say back in the old days, if you played an illegal player, your team is going to be banned from the tournament.
They did it to Villanova when they had Howard Porter on the floor. You're exactly right.
I mean,
you're out.
That's the precedent. You played an illegal player in the tournament, it's done.
You're out.
So they should just say, look, that's out. But instead, there'll be another judge that'll overrule it, and then somebody else will overrule that. You talk about how stupid. The world's falling apart. People are starving, and the court systems are packed with this nonsense. I mean, what in the heck? I mean, hey, but one good thing. I've been critical of Sean Miller through the years.
Yep.
I've always said he's a pretty good coach, but he's a head scratcher to me. But and you may have already discussed this. I didn't get to hear the first part of the program. Have you all heard his interview from last night after the game?
No.
It's one of the greatest. It's not a tirade, but it should go down all time. Brian, you've got to pull this up.
What'd he say?
He says, he just sits down, calls me and says, my team has been I'm going to abbreviate a few words. My team has been infected with a virus, and we've all come down with it. And it's called fouling, and it's not the official's fault. It's not Kentucky's fault. It's not. But the deal is, I can promise you, when we go out there to play, we will foul the expletive out of you on any type of foul. Any type of foul. It doesn't matter. We'll overrun. We'll reach. We'll go over your back. Yada yada, etc. If you want it done to you, we will do it. We are the guys for you. It's unbelievable. Because I remember watching them against Tennessee. If you remember that night, I was like, what are they doing on defense?
Yes.
Like, why are they out there hacking and reaching? It is classic all the time. You need to hear it. I did not do it justice. Probably wouldn't be in my best interest to quote it directly.
Yeah.
But it is an all-time classic.
Well, I was talking to the great Maury Hanks today, and we were talking about, the nuances that most people just aren't going to see from night in and night out. We're paying as a sporting public more now for these tickets than ever before to watch this college basketball. And you're seeing an elevated level of pickup basketball is what this is. These guys do not have enough time to work with their teams. So the silly things and the fundamentals, and I know we sound like old people saying this, but the fundamentals are way out the window because it's elevated pickup basketball from year to year. And that's when Alabama said, hold my brewski. I'm going to show you how pickup basketball this is. We're going to claw a professional guy back who's playing in the States to come bolster our front line. But so many little things on a nightly basis go on in major college basketball that would not have been tolerated 25 years ago.
Oh, I mean, 25.
It's pickup ball. It's pickup ball. Yep.
Oh, it's crazy pickup ball too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The time that you down there and gets a couple brawls going out there in the parking lot. It's I mean, so there is that. But
the end of that Kentucky game, the last 120 seconds of that Kentucky game the other day was time capsule stuff. Both teams, a great advertisement for what we're talking about here.
Well, it's just kind of like what Sean Miller was saying, and I think you're right. I think they're so limited what they can do, and in basketball, if you miss on a guard or a post, I mean it's a you can't hide it like you can probably in football in some ways.
Yeah.
But it's kind of made me more interested in the game. I mean, I've kind of become numb to it because, I'm like, I don't even know who we got from year to year.
Right.
But this has kind of spiced it up a little bit, but I'll be disappointed if we don't have we got to think deep here. Who would we like? Maybe your audience can help, Barnes. Who do we pull from years gone by that just really got I don't care if they're in their 60s, man. Let's make it interesting. Let's get out there and
And just show up one night.
Imagine that.
Just show up one night and have Lofton, make it like WWE. You have Barnes come over and check him into the game.
Ring,
he hasn't even warmed up. He takes the headphones off. He's sitting there with Mike Keith. He takes the headphones off. He pulls his He pulls his whatever he wears in the game off, and he has his Tennessee jersey of that night with Lofton. Can you imagine the pop from the crowd that night? The pop if he did that.
I mean, let's do it right if we're going to do it. Wouldn't this be a great game to have Euros in to show up and throw
people are calling for Plavi.
Literal, just some of the worst fouls you've ever seen in your life delivered on someone. I mean, there's a lot of creative things we could do here since it's going to be it's just a matinee, right? This isn't. I mean, what world does this count as a real game? I don't.
It's pretty great.
If there's any justice at all, which I doubt there is, you're going to find out too if the SEC commissioner cares at all about basketball, which
SEC commissioner's worried about fixing his college football playoff and making it 16 teams and letting and Raj, thank you, but letting the Big Ten let him have his way. Bri, question for you: do we win Saturday night with Alabama? Because I want to game this out with you real quick. Do we win Saturday night with Alabama?
I'd have to see it to believe it.
So that's
although they've had success against Alabama's program recently, home and away, so I'd have to see it to believe it.
All right. Do we win the following game because that'd be 3 losses in a row if we lose this game. Do we win the following game at Georgia, Bri, on Jan 27?
I don't know if I believe in Georgia. I'll give us a better shot at that one, but I'd probably have to see that to believe it too.
Okay, so this team's just not going to win on the road. Now, here's a problem.
This team just doesn't give you the benefit. You don't want to give it the benefit of the doubt because they just haven't given you a reason to.
I'm not giving them benefit of the doubt, no. So if they go loss, which could happen, right? Have you seen who the third game is in this stretch of 3 coming up? You want to talk about an ignorant place for this to occur on our schedule? Let me just give you a hint. S to the F to the P to the born to the third to the base to the silver to the spoon to the obnoxious to the former West High Rebel. January 31st, the Vols could be, I don't know if they're going to be, but they better win one of these next 2 or 2 of these next 2 and right the ship because SFP, Stephen F. and Pearl, brings Auburn and that traveling circus to town on the 31st for an, are you ready for this? 8:30 Eastern time start. Late night Vols. Saturday night's game is at 8:30. Huh? Stephen effing Pearl coming, and Brian's all of a sudden gone silent, like I did today when I saw that on the schedule. You better figure this thing out on the road in the next couple days. And I don't know that this team's winning on the road. I don't know that they aren't, but I'm not picking them to win on the road like Brian isn't. Because you have to value the ball, man. You got to do little things. If I'm going to believe in you winning on the road, you got to do little things. You have to, play the game smartly and do, like my Flyers last night. I know you don't want me talking about. God, they blew a 3-goal lead last night. You know why? Because they got a bunch of losers making losing plays. And right now, we just know how to make losing plays with our deal. Uninstinctive, kind of losing plays. Bri, consider the impact of that. Jan 24, Saturday night at Alabama. Betty Croco or no Betty Croco. Then you're at Georgia, who they've put some money into their program. And, again, you got a little irony there. You got Mikey Whitey, as we call him, Tidy Whitey in these parts. And then Bry versus Auburn. On Jan 31. Does that sound fun to you, Bry? You signed up for that?
It would sound fun if they could win a couple of them. It would really sound fun if they could have just held on Saturday.
I mean,
imagine how much better we'd feel if they just hold on to that 17-point lead against a bad team in their building. How much different we'd feel and how much the tone of the show would be different and better. But no, we can't do that.
865-200-5402. 865-200-5402. Yeah, and R's right. In a lot of ways, college basketball is really, in the transfer portal era, is a compelling product because it's older. And if you start having these bounce-back guys from the G League, it'll get older still. I don't blame those G League guys for wanting to come back to college ball. Wait a second here. You going to pay me $1 million? You're going to start seeing more and more guys stay in school and run out that eligibility. Why would you leave? Why would you leave? The opportunity to make a couple $1 million? Unless you tell me I'm a top 20 draft pick, I'm staying in college and I'm running that thing off the damn rails. Are you kidding? Rodney Rice made $3 million at USC. $3 million for that guy that Nega Dave has a crush on? $3 million? 865-200-5402. We'll get your calls in. It's all ahead. It's happening each and every day on here. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow, I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the .1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest. Finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vol.
Jennifer Morris be cooler if she tried. I think not. Could my boy Allen from We Ship Floors be cooler? I think not. Could Calhoun's A Taste of Tennessee be any more on point? I think not. Could my friends at FC Alliance grow the beautiful game any more than they do? I think not. What about Simpsons? What about Performance Medicine? What about Simpsons Me? All these people. Waterside Contracting. Advent Electric. When you get the opportunity, support our sponsors. SOS. When you send out an SOS, you help us continue to exist, and I praise God for that. The weather, Bri, the weather. I've been hearing about this storm now. Rebel's been rebel since I don't know when. I've been hearing about this storm now for 3 weeks. What's the latest on Snowmageddon 2026 as it relates to East Tennessee? I come to our chief non-meteorologist, Brian Hartman, who's got the latest. Chief non-meteorologist, take it away, then we go to the phones.
The winter storm watch is still in effect starting Saturday at 1 a.m. and going through Sunday at 7. And the total snow accumulations could be up to 6 inches, but there'll be more as you get toward the Kentucky border.
Okay.
Ice accumulations could be between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch, and they're possible with the highest accumulations in the Cumberland Plateau, southern Tennessee Valley, and southwest North Carolina. But what's coming in after that is going to be bitter cold temperatures. So whatever is put down may not melt very fast. It's going to be bitterly cold Monday and I think into Tuesday.
So I'm going to make you choose, Brian. 1/4 inch of ice, okay, which is like freezing rain, a.k.a. ZR, which is why ZR took the name ZR back in the day. He looked it up and saw that it meant freezing rain. He said he saw the great Matt Henkin do that one time on a weather forecast, so he took the name ZR. Bri, 3 inches of snow or ice? What would you rather have?
I'd rather have a foot of snow over any ice.
I agree with that. That ice scares me. That ice is something that snaps power lines. When I hear ice is, all kidding aside, I know we like to laugh at the snow here and have fun with it. That ice is no laughing matter. That ice is incapacitating. That ice is dangerous. That ice breaks people's hips. That ice is nasty. Let's go to the phones. I just know from growing up in the Northeast, anytime it would snow, we would cheer over ice. Ice is awful.
Ice is heavy on power lines, but I think I read where it takes 3/4 of an inch to really knock a lot of them down. So maybe if it's less than the 1/4 inch, we might be okay.
Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Tony and Zach, what's up, man?
E-Town, what's up, brother? Are you excited for the Bediaco game? Of course, we have to be the team that plays them, right? We got to be the team that it gets in the middle of the maelstrom here.
Well, let me ask you this: when you were sorry, I missed that part. But when you were a kid, did you ever use a trash bag as a sled? Like just put a trash bag and wrap it around yourself and throw yourself down a hill? Because that's what we did here in Elizabeth.
If it's pure ice, you can go down the hill in anything. The craziest thing I ever saw was a guy named Blake from, I want to say, Middle Tennessee, had these Sebago big, huge boots, grab the back of a tailgate and ride it down that hill where Hess Hall is, and the guy didn't know that he had grabbed the tailgate, and the guy started to slide in the truck that Blake was grabbing onto, and the tailgate, the guy kind of fishtailed a little bit, and Blake ended up banging his head on the back of this guy's bumper. Those are things that seem funny at first, and then they're not funny once you do them in practice. But anything goes on the ice, man. That's why I don't like ice.
Well, that's why I appreciate hockey players, because if you can fight backwards on ice, you got my vote.
No doubt about it.
I mean, I concussed myself twice in about 20 minutes last year at a skating rink. So
there you go, brother. You can really hurt yourself on ice.
Are we gonna? Can we get Kennedy Chandler back for 1 year? Because whoever told him to go to the NBA made a big mistake. So let's roll him in here.
Under the old rules, it made sense for Kennedy Chandler to go to the NBA, and here's why. Kennedy Chandler today is a $2 to $3 million basketball player, maybe even more than that. Maybe a $3 to $4 million basketball player. Kennedy Chandler back then was getting room and board, and he wanted to start his pro career, and he wasn't going to get any taller. So, You know what I mean? Under the old rules, it was fine. Under the new rules, a Kennedy Chandler would stay in school for 5 years now.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I'm almost half kidding. Is he, like in boxing community, they say he just came off the couch. I'd love to know if he's playing basketball or if he's just been, if he's like coming off the couch. Because I would, as a kid, say I would dead ass like to see him on the floor.
No doubt about that.
That's just me.
No doubt about that, man. I'd like to see Kennedy Chandler back. Brian, how long's Kennedy Chandler been gone? Would he have eligibility left? Would he fall into this dispensation?
Well, he only played 1 year, and he was drafted, I think, in the 2022 draft, because I think it was a 21-22 season was his only year, freshman year. So
he would have.
If he played 4 years, I think this would have been. He would have been out of eligibility last year after the 25 season.
But you could petition and get him that extra year.
Yeah.
So
and Benny Hanna was I think his last year with the Tide was 22, 23.
I think that's right.
So that's just a year.
1 year later, that's what they're doing here. They're this thing with Betty Ocko is very interesting. With Betty Crocco, this thing is
Benny Hanna.
You got to give him credit, don't you, Zach?
Yeah, it's creative accounting.
Yep.
See you guys.
See you, brother. I don't mind it. I mean, to me, all fair in love and war. But if I'm the NCAA, I say we control this tournament. We don't want this kid out there. And whatever. Yeah, when it comes to this storm this week, remember when you were a kid, you would cheer like crazy for these storms and be so upset when they pass by. And then you get to be a certain age and you're like, and you never understood why your parents would get up in the morning when it was raining and they'd be so damn happy and you'd be so despondent. And now it's like, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Please pass us by. When I saw the latest yesterday and saw that folks to the north of us were going to get hammered, I hate to say this, but I was going, man, better them than us. 865-200-5402. I live like way up on a hill. And as I said yesterday, and there's a, and I just said, I warned somebody yesterday just moving in our neighborhood. I'm like, look, if you want to go somewhere, you got to put your vehicle at the bottom of the deal here, because you're not going to go down the bottom of our hill. You're just not in the snow. I mean, I don't care what you're driving. Thing looks like Ober-Gatlinburg. I mean, good luck to you. Shout out to my friends at VIP Place. Sometimes I feel like what I'm doing is betting on how much snow is going to fall. We have a full card tonight in the NBA. Full card. The Lady Vols are in action tonight against Kentucky. And that's certainly something you'll find action on. Bri, who do you like in that game with the Lady Vols tonight?
I think the Lady Vols get it done. I think they beat them at home. Night,
big crowd on hand. And that'd be, 5 SEC wins in a row for our gals?
That would be their 6th SEC win in a row.
It'd be a rather loud one against a number 7 team in America.
It'd be the best win they've had, I think, all year if they can get it.
Yep. Really would be their best win of the year. And so we'll see, because they get in a heavyweight battle tonight. My friends over at VIP Play, get your welcome bonus. You bet $20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code is TNTony. That is your phrase that pays. Live always with 200 leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. And look, the Australian Open's going on right now. It's incredible at night. It is so fun to watch. There was a couple of great matches last night. I enjoy that because I'm a sportsman. The Olympics are right around the corner. They're going to have so much Olympic stuff for you. Live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options, VIP. Everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP Play. And with college baseball around the corner, they'll have a ton of baseball for you as well. If you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee. And, man, I just had a terrible thought last night when I looked down at that schedule and saw that Tennessee better pull out of this tailspin because Stephen F. and Pearl's coming to town. And, Bri, I'm not in the mood to see Stephen F. and Pearl in here if we're on a 4-game losing streak. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. What's going on today?
Hey, Greg, welcome in.
Hey, in reference to Tennessee in the playoffs down the road, I think they'll be expected to be by all us Tennessee fans, especially the older fans that expect that every year.
Yeah, but do you expect to get to a national championship game? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, national championship game?
That's a big ask. We were reading off the list of teams that had won a BCS national championship but hadn't yet had traction in the playoff era. And Tennessee's one of those teams. Oklahoma's one of those teams. Florida's one of those teams. Florida State's one of those teams. Texas is one of those teams. Who else, Bry's, on that list? And so
you've got Auburn, Florida State, Miami's Florida,
on that list.
Texas, USC, Oklahoma.
And Greg, I wonder, getting into the playoffs, I expect us to get into the playoffs most years. If you go to 16, I expect you to get in. I'm like W. Lynn. You better get in there 4 times every 5 years, 6 times every 10, something like that. 12-team format, I expect you to get there maybe 3 or 4 times in 10 years. I think that's a fair assessment under 12 teams because you're going to have years like this, where you're a little down, and years like next year where maybe you're more of an opponent. I don't know. But you better, when you get there, though, you got to make hay. Question is, Greg, do you think we play in the next 10 years in a final game? That's a hell of an ask, Greg.
Yeah. Being a Tennessee fan and all the success we've had over the years, in 10 years, they should at least once.
Bri, is that your case too, Bri?
I expect more.
Yeah. Bri, do you believe that? One appearance in a natty that they should make that? Or is that a tough ask, Bri?
I don't think that's asking a whole lot. One thing that you can't let cloud your judgment is just the mismanagement of the program between 2007 and 2021. They were close a lot. They've had teams that were close, maybe 1 game away from getting there, although it's a different – with the playoff, there's more tiered layers. But we just don't know, really. That's sort of uncertain if they can get through a playoff. And if Indiana can do it,
yeah, the crazy thing, Greg, now is if they go to 16, they're basically adding another layer of playoff games. That makes it more difficult to get to that final game. I just think that's I think getting to a final game's a lot. I think getting to the playoff is a fair expectation on these coaches. And then once you get there, you got to win in the playoffs. But look at Buffalo. Buffalo just fired a really good head coach in the NFL, Greg, because he did not win and get to an AFC championship game. They just let a guy go for that reason.
That's the craziest thing I saw. I mean, I don't get that. Because the coach got them there. The players have got to win the game.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Greg. Totally agree.
One question about basketball. Coach Oates is he's on thin ice, in my opinion.
Why?
This kid, like you guys have already talked about it today, if he plays and then he's ruled ineligible because it's not right, for one thing, to have him be able to do that, he should lose eligibility tournament play, as well as he should lose wins this guy was involved in. And Coach Oates doesn't respect the damn game that he is in, coaching basketball. That's not respecting the game itself. When you're he's trying the issue with a former guy. I don't get it. I don't.
Well, listen, on the other hand, though, if I'm a fan of Alabama, I'm appreciating that I got a guy that's thinking outside the box, Greg. I'm thinking, hey, I got a guy that knows his team doesn't fit this year and knows we need an extra piece. And this guy, said, hey, I found a loophole here. Stay right there, Greg. And I'm going to claw him back. And we're going to do some overtime. I'm going to claw him back. And I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to show you I have a sense of urgency. I mean, say what you want to say, but in a lot of ways, that wouldn't bother me if I was my head coach. I mean, it's just my take on it, even though I think that's illegal what they're doing, because the NCAA has told them it's illegal, and I think Pope's right. William Pattison, he's the Pope of correct. He's the Pope of Wrightville. He's up next.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
You see, Greg, I would say that if you and I were talking, and let's say our football coach pulled something like that in the middle of the season, crawled a guy back that could really help us, wouldn't we be congratulating him and going, man, this guy's thinking outside the box here? What do you think, Greg?
That's the wrong way to think outside the box. You're going against the rules that you've been involved with for how many years? I don't know. But, I mean, when you're trying to scat the rule, and you've got a guy that's not even a for sure deal being eligible just because of one judge, and it has to be looked at later on, why would you risk your team getting knocked out of a tournament, for example, maybe? I don't know, but that's stupidity in my opinion. Just like Calipari said, these kids coming in from foreign countries, how do you know the birth certificate's right? How do you know he's that age? You don't.
Oh, Calipari now getting religion after he tried to get Annis Cantor snuck through back in the day. I love that. Calipari getting a little religion. Bri,
he's talking about.
Who are you with, Bri, on this thing? Who are you in on this? To me, I think the coach is trying something. He's at least showing some initiative. What do you think, Bri?
Well, I mean, it's the wrong kind of initiative.
Yeah, but if he was our coach, I think we'd be applauding it. I really do. You wouldn't applaud it,
imagine
Greg?
if he gets this guy and they don't win. Imagine if Tennessee beats them at home.
Here's my fear, Greg.
How much egg would he have on his face?
Here's my fear, Greg. One of our freshmen, our prize freshman, goes up against this guy and he throws him to the floor because this guy's kind of an eraser around the goal. And what happens if one of our guys gets hurt out there playing against him? You talk about livid. You talking about Rick Barnes. You talking about something verbal turning physical. But it ain't verbal. It's physical. Basketball. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, there's a question there. There's a question about how rough he'll be playing after he's had that experience in the NBA.
Yep.
I mean, that could get on some guys' nerves. I mean, it could be an outbreak right there too. I hope we don't see it, but anyway, it could happen, I guess.
Greg, you're the man. Thank you. Calamari's a squid. For him to say that, Calamari's a squid. If you want to get in, 865-200-5402. So we've had a feller that's put a quote in here a couple times. And he said, Josh Fall, he said, imagine the 85 Vols getting a shot at the playoffs. 89, 90, 91, 93, 95, 96, 97, 99, 01. It's easier now because you aren't locked out with a loss or two. I don't know if it's easier now. It seems easier now. And that's something I want to kind of get into tomorrow. I don't know that it's easier now. Put it this way. I don't think Alabama fans will tell you it's easier now. It looks easier now, but I don't think it's easier now. I'm going to say I disagree with that. You agree with him or me, Bri? It's easier now.
Well, Indiana made it look easy. They made it look very easy now, and they were never was program.
Yes.
So if you got the right coach, it takes a lot of circumstances to kind of line up, but I'm not saying it couldn't look easy.
In a weird way,
it could look easy for Tennessee too if they ever got what Indiana had with Signetti. They could find it somewhere.
In a weird way, it is easier than it used to be for an Indiana to do it than a USC or a Tennessee or an Oklahoma. Why? Because we were already at the party. They are now, if you think about it, they're now at a party they were restricted from attending. So they can still walk out with a party favor. Before they had no chance of even getting on the guest list. So for them, it is easier. I don't know when you're at one of these half schools if it's easier than the old way. The old way, you build for a year, you have a great team, you hope to win your games during the regular season, and you put yourself in a position to play in that one bowl game at the end of the year. This playoff thing is a different animal. That's all I'm saying.
It wasn't easier for Penn State, Notre Dame, Nebraska to do it again the old way because they're still searching and trying to get back to the top. And it's been over 3 decades now, and all kinds of the BCS system and a 4-team and 12-team playoff.
That's the point. It's a great point. And by the way, Notre Dame this past season, Notre Dame last year got to the championship game. That's great. But this past season, they got locked out of the deal. You know, it just kind of is how you look at it. 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. To that guy, I would say, Josh Fall, I would say, hey, you're right. The Vols would be in the playoffs in either format. In 85, I don't know with all those ties. I don't know about the ties. I don't know how that works out. You got to win. You got to figure out how those games would have. And 89 team certainly would have been in a 12-team playoff. The 90 team, again, you had some ties. I don't know how that would have worked out. 91, 93, 95, 96, 97, 99, those teams are all, and 01, those teams are all in a 12-team playoff. No doubt about it. But then from there, you got to play them off. From there, you got to play them off. The other thing that I think when you start having this discussion is you try to go back and retrofit it, right? Say, well, this was our record back then. This means under this playoff format. Well, here's the thing that's different. If more teams knew that they could have gotten a bite at the chalice at the end of the year or a chance to hold the crown, would your roster have looked the same? Because now you can pay guys. See, it's almost like we're talking about a brand new sport. Now, you use history to do it, but in a lot of ways, it's incongruent. Because you're trying to apply logic to something that right now, logic's sort of out the window. However, I do think it's logical to say that it's really hard to run through a playoff. I think it's a logical thing to say. I think we saw that last year. You know, Tennessee had a nice season last year.
It really was hard if you played Ohio State to run through a playoff.
Well, let's just say SMU would. Let's say SMU would have come to town, Bri. Okay, so you get a win under your belt. I was just getting ready to say that. But with last year's team, you were still going to get whacked in week 2. You know? Yeah, like Josh Fall says, Tony, I'm getting what you're saying because top programs can't lock up the talent anymore, and some of the never-was teams have the money to compete. That's exactly the point. And that's why when you're us, we have a tendency to think, well, there's 10 or 12 teams fighting for it, which is the conclusion that was the conclusion I came to 5 years ago when I saw this 12-team playoff. Okay, we're going to have this is what we're going to do. So there's 15 teams fighting for it. That's not the case now. I think, and I could be wrong, there might be 40 teams now fighting for this thing. You got to put Vanderbilt in there. You got to put Ole Miss in there. Why am I putting Vandy in there? Vandy showed me last couple of years, they're not afraid to spend money. Vandy paid good money for their roster.
Maybe, I don't know, at least maybe half of the FBS level could, honestly, and maybe 75% of Power 4 teams could think, realistically, they can make a playoff in any given year. If it's 16 teams.
Certainly the Power 4, Bri, that is certainly the case. If I'm sitting there at a Power 4 program and I'm looking at two teams that had zero business being there, now, Kiffin's Rec Lexus is trying to be funny, saying, well, we have too much integrity to fight for it, though. You really don't believe that. Because I don't believe that. I don't believe Danny White believes that. I think Danny White said that. It's a nice excuse. Do we think Tennessee's being like Pure and Lily White in their recruiting? Okay, good. I mean, let's get real. It sounds good that your AD says that. It's funny. If I'm a fan of another school, I would laugh out loud at that. But, I mean, come on. So, Tennessee certainly should, even if you stayed with the 12-team playoff, at the very least in a 10-year period, they should make that thing close to half the time if you're doing this right. But Sam Schrock's right. If you're going to get to a final game, you've got to be lucky. Not win it all. Win it all, you got to be super fortunate. Everything's got to line up for you to win it all. Mendoza's got to fall into your lap when Auburn was going to take him. Things like that have to happen for you. You've got to get a guy, okay, from a winless, I didn't realize this, from a winless MAC team last year. After you lose your best defensive player, you plug in and you don't miss a beat. That's luck.
Think about
that's luck. I mean, you can call that what it is. That's luck.
Tape of an 0-12 team from the MAC and finding a player that could be a key cog in a national championship run. And our 47 analysts can't even identify a quarterback.
Vandy Dandy or Vandy Daddy, whatever his name is, Vide, has re-entered the chat after licking his bumps, no doubt. And I hope that penicillin worked, VD. It's a miracle drug, I hear. He was accusing me earlier on in the YouTube chat, Brian, of, shall we say, what's the term here? Putting the kibosh on Vandy by giving them a lot of love. Steve's accused me of, like Matt Dixon accuses me. Brian, pull up Vandy's basketball schedule. I want to go through that. Because Vandy Dandy, he doesn't talk so loud and he doesn't seem so proud right now. And But to VD, I say shout out to you. Shout out to penicillin. Shout out to you coming back. Shout out to all the things that, all the fun we've had along the way, me and you, VD. Bri, give me Vandy's basketball schedule. Let's go through it because he thinks I put the kibosh on him. And I'm going to tell him whether it's good news or bad news coming up for them. Bri, who do they play next and where? And then we'll go to the phones.
They play at Saturday at Mississippi State, 6 o'clock.
That, for my boy Vandy Daddy, VD, that's a W for you, VD. You're now off you're off the schneid. Continue, Bri.
Tuesday, they host Kentucky, 9 o'clock ESPN game.
2 wins in a row. A rather loud win in Memorial Gymnasium for Vandy Daddy, VD for short. VD, I'll be on Plaster Show Tuesday, and I will be calling that shot in real time, moving left or right across your device with the triple play. Big boy. Continue, Bri.
Saturday the 31st, they're at Ole Miss.
Hey, VD, that's 3 wins in a row for the Streaking Cats. I mean the Doors. Streaking Doors. Continue, Bri.
Then they host Oklahoma on the weekend.
Brian, have you seen how bad Porter Moser's Oklahoma team is?
I haven't seen them play much, but they look like they're struggling somewhat.
I saw them the
scores
other night.
I've noticed.
I saw that game with South Carolina the other night, and I couldn't unsee it. Go! VD, 4 in a row for the V to the D.
And then they have to go to the Plains to face Stephen effing Pearl.
VD, you will beat them. That's 5 in a row for you. Streaking now, VD. I'm not going to hex you here. Continue.
And this is a big one. A&M, but they only have 1 conference loss. That was to Tennessee in overtime last week. So they host A&M on a weekend on Valentine's Day.
6 in a row for VD. Get a box of chocolates out. Go to Bradley's. VD, that's 6 wins in a row for you.
At Missouri.
Easy win. Easy win, VD.
On a weeknight, 9 o'clock late start.
7 in a row.
Sleepy spot. And then they host the Vols.
VD, I think you win that game too. 8 in a row for VD. I'd never jinx you, VD. I think you're the best team in college basketball. You're my personal team I'm adopting, VD. Not that I would want to jinx you or anything. As we go back to our
They host Georgia.
That's a win. VD, you're going to win out. Are we doing school closings tomorrow? Yes, get them into me, commonfan@gmail.com. commonfan@gmail.com. School closings are on as follows. Byron on Byron's Corner today took the opportunity to have a school closing and take a shot at Danny White. In a blog post where he was effusing praise for what our head football coach had done. He took a moment of silence there to blast Danny White at the end of it, which I love. Because I stand in favor of our sports teams, and Danny White is just a really odd duck. No offense to him. Let's go back to our phones. And he's fun to have fun with. He's fun to mess around with. Like if he were in your friend group in high school, he'd have the hair that not a hair out of place, and you'd walk up behind him and say, "How you doing, Danny?" and rub his head, and get all his hair all messed up. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? Josh.
There he is. Richie Wingo. Richie Wingo. What's up, Wingo?
What up, Chapardo?
Hey, your card's in the mail. Hey, Bri, check this out. Check this out, Bri. So, Joshy boy, he wasn't getting anywhere on his copper card with me, okay? So, he did a group text with me and Laura yesterday. He drug Laura into it. Bri, what do you think of that? Bri?
Whatever it takes to get the job done, I guess.
I mean, the man literally, I go upstairs and Laura goes, have you seen this? I said, no. She said, Josh has got me involved in the search for the copper card. That's some damn dedication, y'all. That's some dedication.
How did he get her phone number?
Oh, he's got everybody's number. He's Joshy boy, Shep.
I'm like Leroy. Where my copper card at?
Where my card? Where my copper card?
So, Tony, how can Bediako do this? How did he do that? Like, how's he able to play Saturday against us?
They got an injunction in court. Judges now run these sports. NCAA no longer runs the deal.
Yeah.
The whole reason we're in the NIL era is for the Supreme Court and what they did. The courts are now running this whole thing.
Then why doesn't ZZ try to do the same thing?
Brian, would you take ZZ Stop back on this team? I know one guy that would. And that's my man Josh Collins.
Hey, this is ZZ.
You know who I would take back on this team over anybody?
I want to say a shout out.
Is Gainey.
Collins Insurance Agency.
Yeah, I would take Gainey for sure, Bri.
I think I would take Gainey back over ZZ even.
Yeah. So, Tony, what was the question about Tennessee? You asked how many times they would appear in the national championship in the next 10 years.
In the next 10 years, do you expect the Vols to appear in a national championship game in football?
That would be a big fat zero bagel. I want him to, but I would say in the next 10 years they're going to make the playoffs 4 out of the 10, but I don't see them making the natty in any of those.
You know, if it's 12 teams, it'll be 4 out of 10. I agree with that. If it's 16 teams, Bri, how many out of 10 will they make a playoff?
I think you could bump that up to maybe 5.
Yeah. Could you see if they go to 16 that I know a definitely 9-3 team will make the playoffs. Could an 8-4 team ever make the playoffs when they go to 16?
I mean, I'll never say never. They would have to have one hellacious schedule. Because I think at that point, you got to let the power ratings decide who gets in.
Right.
You know? So,
yeah.
Not all leagues are created equal. I would let the power ratings decide. I guess you could never say never. But certainly it would open it up if you go to 16 for 9-3 teams to get in for sure, I would think, right?
Right.
So,
Tony, I'm not
Joshy boy, they think I'm doing a bit. Did you or did you not also text Laura and put her in a group text? Yes or no?
No, you're not doing a bit. I reached out to her
because
yesterday.
He's pissed. Listen, he's sick of not getting his card. He was promised a card around Christmas time, and so I'm gonna sit down today and I'm gonna draft you a nice long note as well.
Well, good, Tony. I'm proud of you. So I'm not giving my source out, but he told me there's a 60-40 chance that Joey gets granted his 6th year of eligibility on February 10th.
I would never, ever try to predict what's going to happen in a court of law, ever. Because as the great Marcos Garza says, you kind of want to stay out of court. That's kind of the goal. That's the goal before having a good attorney like the great Marcos Garza. Courts are gambling,
Tony,
you know?
What do you think the ceiling is for this team, Tony, if Joey does get his 6th year of eligibility next season? I'm going to say 10 wins.
Brian? Now, why didn't we think of that?
Think of what? I've been wanting him to get his extra year for a while now.
You are. Think of what? Think of the implications. A great what-if question is, Josh is thinking like a producer of this show. What if, Tony, let's do a show on, what if Joey football regains, because right now I think we're like somewhere between 6-6 and 8-4 next year with the quarterback situation we have. We're going to have kids. We're going to have inexperienced kids at quarterback playing a really hard schedule. Matt Dixon doesn't want to hear that, and other people. I'm going to just keep a real guy. You can say, well, you're being whatever you're. I was right about last football season. I mean, I know I'm being whatever I'm being. I'm just telling you. And I think that's going to be okay as long as you point me toward 27, one of those quarterbacks growing into a gathering storm so I can know what's ahead. As long as I can see that out there, I got a gathering storm program, and we're loading this thing up for 2027. So I want to see that position grow and the rest of the team grow toward the goal of, in 2027, let's put the chips on the table. Let's make that one of those years where we wake up and go, you know what? With a little luck, we could be in the final game. But, Josh, if you told me Joey Aguilar comes back next year, him being as limited athletically as he is in this offense, the ceiling's 9 games against that schedule, in my mind.
9 games. Yeah,
how about you, Brian?
That's not a bad prediction.
I was thinking 9-3 would be the ceiling, but that might, depending on how many playoff teams there are, that could get it done.
But you could get to 10. I mean, you could get to 10, you know.
And you'd be in some of those 3 games you think that they might drop. You'd be in them at least.
Josh, he's just not athletic enough for me, and he throws too many crazy balls. That's the other thing about him.
Agreed. Out the door, Tony, what I wanted to say is I didn't get to say it on the post-game Saturday because I didn't get to call in. Dave, your thoughts and prayers. My thoughts and prayers are with you after the passing of your father. And if you ever need anything, don't be afraid to reach out to me because I love you, Dave.
That is I love that kid, man. Yep. And Negative right on cue in our chat says GMAC is limited athletically, which is true. And I love GMAC. You know, I'm Ford. I'm Ford GMAC, not against GMAC. I'm Ford the guy. But he's just he's what you call an okay quarterback. Yeah, but Tony, he's back in the system for a second year, and he'd be like Nico in the second year. No, it wouldn't. Did you see Nico run with the ball? Nico athletic, as they say in the trade.
Could Nico hit a deep ball as well as Joey Aguilar could?
We'll never know. He never let himself.
There could be a trade-off.
He never let himself get in the system long enough. I'm a believer that for this thing to really go like it needs to go, quarterback's got to be able to run with the ball and make yards when you run with it. Not run like me. But it's great producer skills from you, Josh. We'll do that next week. Let's say Joey Aguilar wins his court case. What's your expectation? Let's say he doesn't. What's your expectation? Great stuff, Josh. And a really beautiful, heartfelt sentiment as well that I just absolutely love what you just said to Negative. You know, I want to say this real quick. I'm really proud of this community because when Negative's father passed away, and there are people that spar with Negative in this room, and still they're sparring with him today. But everybody, when he popped into that room the other day, was loving on him. Every single person, even people that he flat out spars with, that when I'm doing this, and I see that we foster that kind of community through this deal, really, really warms my heart and waters my soul. But Joshy boy, you yesterday sneaking around behind my back, going to Laura, acting like I'm some kind of stool pigeon dope, treating me like an absolute dope, like Mark Pope the dope. It's disgusting and reprehensible behavior out of you, if you want my opinion. Bino, who's taking you under wings, is going to have to deal with you now. Laura, how can that kid be under my wings when he's doing that with you and he's reaching out to you like that? How can he be under my wings? Huh? He's smart, she said. G-Max Carbload says, Tony, if Joshy Boy does get that copper card, he can now give it to Negative. Beach Bum says you might need to stick him back on suspension. Oh, my gosh. So tomorrow, I've got a list. Tomorrow, we've got a great show for you. We've got tomorrow, obviously, Hughie. I've got a list of teams that have the most top 25 appearances in the last, what, Brian, is that graphic that got sent to us? Most top 25 appearances, period, right? And Tennessee's like 7th on that list. The Vols have an illustrious history. Vols are top 10 in top 25 appearances all time. W. Lynn is getting, how do I put this now? We're going to talk about the AP Top 25 poll. W. Lynn, the AP Top 25 poll, 1870-something, and Wood. What do those things all have in common? But we're going to look at football from a historical standpoint, and we're going to say which of these teams are in the boat and which of these teams are out of the boat. Because nowhere to be found on that list was Indiana. And I think, Brian, we got to consider Indiana in the boat. Yes or no? After this season, we consider them in the boat?
Well, they're on the list of, yeah, there was Signetti there, yes. I don't know if he can do what Saban did, but as he's lost his strength and conditioning coach, and eventually somebody's going to pick off one of his coordinators. So we'll see if he's got staying power.
Another thing I think we ought to do for old GMAC is we ought to do some recipes. We ought to do like a cookbook. Basilio, a Southern Basilio Show cookbook.
It's one of those pixels that you like to put out in the holiday season. Going to be on that in that cookbook.
VD is opining that Vanderbilt should be ranked in the preseason like Tennessee is every year now. Bri, would you care to break it to VD what's going to happen to them next season? Because I will break it to him if you don't.
Like Tom Petty would say, he's got a hit out, or one of his hits, Free Fallin'.
Yeah. Because you got lucky, babe, to quote Tom Petty. You got lucky, babe, because you need to. That was your last dance, babe, with Mary Jane. Okay. Because
no one believes you're winning 8 in a row in basketball either.
And you better quit jamming me, babe, if you think that's what you're doing. Okay. Because Tennessee won't back down, but you guys will. So, and my favorite thing from the football season, speaking of Tom Petty, we ought to do like dark highlights from the season, things that we just love about college football. Like when those Florida fans, that night Tennessee beat the absolute dog shit out of them on their home field this year, sung we won't back down, we won't back down, I won't back down, in unison. And then
they left
got the
immediately.
hell out of that stadium is one of the greatest things I've ever seen, Bri. We won't back down, won't get pushed around. You talk
that
about...
win
that
felt like it was worth 2 or 3 wins to me.
That night I would have taken... Picture this now. Josh Heupel in a bathtub, taking him a bubble bath. I'd have taken Brian Hartman, myself, Bino, and Matt Dixon. Matt would have had the biggest straw, but we would have gone and drained his bathwater with a straw that night. Just to beat them like that.
They didn't even score in the second half. They didn't even have to score in the second half to do it. Matter of fact, they didn't score a single point in almost 3 quarters and still beat them by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, if that was one thing I'd fix about Josh Heupel, I want the old Josh Heupel back. I want the killer Heupel back. That ramp a score on people, blowed people out. I mean, I hate to say it. Hashtag Negadave's right. Should have put 50 up that night. He's right, Brian, isn't he? I hate to say it. Negative Dave's got a good point.
But I'll never complain about a win by 4 touchdowns in the swamp. He might be right, but I'll still enjoy the heck out of that.
But shout out to VD, because even the losers, VD. Even the losers. But you got lucky, babe, when you found Pavia. Boys, it was fun today. Bri, fun. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're closing this beer joint down today. I got work to do. Oh.
The Isley Brothers.
Oh, no, that's Average White Band. I said, I got
They've got work. The Isley Brothers did it too.
I got work to do. I got a job, baby.
Isley's is the only band I'll recognize associated with that song.
Check out the Average White Band's version of that. You'd appreciate it. They wrote it and they did it. AWB, baby. Some great funk. Till we meet again, I love you. God bless. G to the B to the O. Take the VO. And tomorrow, it'll be myself, Bino, Bri. It'll be tomorrow. Hughie, Detillier, Bryony, Basilio, and Go Vols Go, along with my man Bino. Take the vow. Appreciate you. Peace. All right, now we'll run it back for you. Because I won't back down. Not gonna get pushed around. Can you believe those people? The irony of those lame brain kids not even realizing what they were doing. I mean, not even realizing not even thinking about it. We're just going to stand up here and sing our song and then get up and walk out on our team. But we won't back down. Talk about life in modern America. All the ironic things that go on, we just don't even think about. Like, I'll give you something ironic. Why do we call these things smartphones? Do you think that phone makes you smarter? There's never been a tool that's made people dumber as a group of people than a smartphone. The nickname the Czar.